So one last task to go, and that's to add the delete functionality on here. Now, this is nothing really new to what we have covered before, so you should be able to go ahead and implement this functionality without looking at this particular demonstration. If you're feeling confident, please go ahead and do it. There's one slightly tricky part, and that's to isolate the delete button from the main button in terms of the loading indicator if you want to reuse the same loading flag that we used for the main photo. So have a go at this, see if you can add the functionality yourself, and pause the video in order to do so. And skip to the end of this video once you've done it to compare your solution to mine. If you're not feeling confident, I'm just going to go through the steps that we need to do. So we'll head back to VS Code, and what we need to do is go back to our profile store and add a function in here to delete the photo. So we'll say delete photo, and once again, of course, it's going to be an async method, and we'll pass in a photo of type photo, and then we'll add the logic inside here. So we'll reuse the loading indicator that we've already created. So we'll set list.loading equals true, and then we'll add a try catch block and pass in the error, and we'll say run in action. And for the callback function, we'll say list.loading equals false. And just in case, we'll just add a console.log and the error as well. And in the try block, we'll say await agent.profiles.delete photo, and we'll pass in the photo.id. And then we just need to update the profile itself. We don't need to do anything with our user store when we're deleting photos, as we're not allowing the user to delete their main photo. So we'll just add another run in action. And inside this, we'll check to see if we have a profile. And then we'll say list.profile.photos equals list.profile.photos, and then we can use the filter method. And we can say that p goes to p.id, that's not equal to photo.id. And then this is going to return a new array with all of the photos except for the image that matches the ID that we're passing as our parameter here. And we don't need to do anything else. So what we can do is say list.loading is equal to false. Easy. And then what we can do is we can head back to our photo or our profile photos, and we'll need to bring in the delete photo method. And then we can come down to our component button, and let's just bring this down so that it doesn't fall off the screen. And what we actually need to do is create a handle method so that we can also set the target at the same time. So back up to the top, and what we'll use is another function, and we'll say handle delete photo, and we'll pass in a photo of type photo, and we'll pass in the event, and again this is going to be a synthetic event of type HTML button elements. And we can say set targets, and we can say e.currentTargets.name, and then we can say delete photo, and we can pass the photo to our profile store. And then we can just come down and we'll add a loading indicator, and we'll set this equal to target equal to the photo.id and loading. And notice this is identical to the loading here. So we need to do something extra to make these individual buttons. Otherwise, we're going to see two loading indicators when we try and delete a photo and when we try and set a photo as well. So how can we deal with this? Well, we can just give our target a bit of extra information, and what we can do is say target is equal to main plus the photo ID, and then we can just say that our name of our button is main plus photo ID. So this is going to make this different to this one effectively. And then what we can do is add an onClick event, and we'll pass E as the parameter, and we'll say handle delete photo, and we'll pass up the photo and the event. And we also need to make this button disabled if the photo is the main to prevent the user from clicking on this if they're trying to delete their main photo. They will need to change it first. And of course, we need to give this button a name as well so that we can actually set the target, and we'll set the name to the photo.id. So we should be good to go and test this functionality. So let's head back to the browser, just refresh the page. And we'll go to our photos, and we can't delete the main photo, which is fine. Let's delete Michael Keaton Batman, and we only see one loading indicator, and it disappears once that has been removed from Cloudinary and our API. Perfect. And this finally brings us to the end of this relatively long section, and let's just make sure there's nothing hanging around inside our console. And once again, I've left a few things behind that we can clean up. So inside the photo upload widget, there's an image, and inside our agent file, there's something left behind there as well. So inside the photo upload widgets, let's just remove the unused import, and inside the agent file, we've got a request from HTTP, which was accidentally brought in earlier. And if I just go back and take a look and just refresh the page, we have a clean console. Perfect. So let's go and stage and save our changes into source control, and 19 changes in my case. And I'm just going to stage the changes, and let's say end of section 17. And commit them, and then push them on up to GitHub. And we'll wrap this up with a summary.